welcome to another one of my videos. Today I'm doing a character for MysterionRises, a simple commission that was not so very simple. As the character had a lot of details, I had to spend more than double the time than what I usually do on a simple commission. The character's color scheme was not in my forte, but I did my best to make it appealing in my own style. Sometimes what I do when I travel with poses is that I draw a little bit stickman pose. Up to the right, as you can see, I have those little stickman reference that I do. And basically the idea that I have, and then I just work on top of that idea as I go on. But I thought it would be really nice and dynamic, especially as she has wings on her boots, to have her, you know, jumping, be happy and jolly. Especially with her long and nice hair and everything. Right now I was just in sketching stage, and when I work on a simple commission, why it's called simple is not because like I draw it more simple or something like that. It's just that the resolution is so much lower, around 700 x 700 pixels, which makes it so much faster to draw on and much easier to do line art really quick. And then I also just do cell shading with multiply layer, so I don't have to change layer each time I color something or change the color. I just use lock the opacity in the end after done all the multiply shading, and then shade it so it looks more appealing on each color. Knowing how to place his sleeves and make them dynamic but still looks like sleeves was actually really hard. And as there were so many details, I had to figure out how to make it still look natural. Especially with all the frills too, all the angles on the frills. I tried to make the frills really simple and not too detailed or tiny, otherwise it would be all cluttery. So she's holding her sleeve there, and she's because the sleeve is double, like the frills on both sides, that's why the frills from the behind is also showing in certain angles. Deciding on the expression is always really hard for me, and if you guys haven't noticed or you didn't know, drawing shibis from the front is one of the weaknesses of mine. When it comes to full bodies, I can easily draw it from the front, but when it comes to shibis, because they have such poofy cheeks, to make the cheeks poofy and not look like dead or something, or like chipmunks, is really hard for me at times. So you will see me changing her face shape a lot during this video. I missed my tiny feet, so I went back and did some really tiny feet for this one. I love to draw really tiny feet. Yeah. What I do to make the line art look more appealing, even though it's so small, is to add a little bigger edges here and there. I always have the smaller version of the picture to the right so I can see how it looks from far away. And that way I know if the thick line I add looks good or not. Because how it looks from far away when I upload it or show it to the commissioner is more important than how it looks really up close. Really up close it looks really pixelish, but further away it just looks more crisp and nice. I can hear myself internally screaming when I was doing this face. I love her big bangs that almost looks like a bob from the front. I think it's super cute to draw, and I had a lot of fun with it. I think actually short hair characters can be really cute. I wish I could draw them a little bit more often, because sometimes I think the character looks cuter with short hair than with a long hair. there are so many details in this picture, I did not want the hair to overlap anywhere, and I didn't really want the ribbons and stuff from the back to come to the front, because it would be too much, how do you say, too much information for the viewer to take in. The ribbon, however, that was on the back, I wanted to be on the front so it gets a more 3D shape, but I mean the ribbons from the back, because it would be too much, in my opinion. But actually, now when I think about it, I could make it really cool in 3D if I put it in the front in a really special way. Something to think for next time. And as I told you before, I was struggling so much with the face. I wanted her to be super cute, but it was so hard. I was like, why can't I make her look cutie? And because I draw so light with my hand, I usually duplicate the layers that I do, so the line of layer turns a little darker and thicker. And now it's time for base colors, and what I just do when I add the base colors is just to color pick from the reference, and then after I'm done with all the base colors, I'll just change the colors to a more appealing color, in my opinion. Oh, how do you say? Not a more appealing color, but a color that suits my style and vision that I have for the piece a little bit more, but still keeping the original touch and design of the character. As red tones and warm pink and stuff like that don't usually go really well together, I already plan to make her more of a purple tone in the hair and in the pink parts. All the details. I wonder if you guys find this part too boring to watch. So if you do find the base coloring boring, please tell me so in the comments below, and I just cut it off or out, and then you'll have a slower version and where you can see the coloring more in detail and stuff like that. And now I changed the liner color a tiny bit to a little bit more softer brownish red, so I can see what kind of vision I'm going for. And right now I'm changing the colors to a more my type of thing. Start with the blush. I'm doing it a multiply, and purple works really well with browns and also really well with pink, so I decided that purple was the way to go to start this off, like a purple bluish. When I do simple commissions, I always do 2 layers of multiply, one of the base layers like this, and then a second layer that I either do a big colors or small colors. Sometimes I do one way or another, it doesn't really matter. And then afterwards I usually take a normal layer, all the luminosity layers, and add shines and special effects. And that's why it's called a simple commission too, because it's just like 3 layers of shading and highlights, which goes really fast. And then of course I changed some of the hue and stuff of the shading, because I wanted to fit more with the original base color. So we just take the airbrush and lock the layer and change the opacity and colors a little bit. But now I'm changing the line of color to make it suit the character more. Now it's time for highlights. I'm going to decide what kind of highlights I wanted to do, but I decided to go for rainbow because I love rainbows nowadays, you guys know that. Rainbows and sparkles. Always remember to have a picture on the side so you can see how the sparkles looks far away, because that's the most important, because that's what people will see when you upload it. To be honest, I think your face looks pretty cute here. I remember I changed it a lot though, so you guys will see the change in the end. It's not that sad that I changed it. I think she looks cute. Why did I change it? Okay, now she looks weird though, with those really round eye shine. But it will change. I added a blue backlight thing because I thought it looked cool. Yeah, I just felt like it, and I felt to, you know, take a liberty. And it makes it look a little bit more 3D and interesting too, in my opinion. And some more sparkles, because sparkles are always nice. And shine, of course, on the go. Now I realized that the eyes looks weird, so I tried to change it. And now I'm doing extra hair strands to make it look a little more lively. And then lastly, I do an overlay layer to add more dimension and color pop to the picture. I started to think that the eyelids were too thick, so I tried to change that. Not eyelids, what I'm saying, eyelashes. And now I'm trying to change the face because I thought she looked like a chipmunk. But yeah, that was the drawing for this time. I hope you enjoyed my little voiceover. If you enjoy my voiceovers and think it's interesting, please tell me in the comments below. Or if you want me to talk more about my day or have it as a vlog, kinda like a Speedpaint vlog thing, please tell me because I'm willing to talk about whatever you guys want to hear about. And thank you so much for watching and hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!